sky this afternoon. Temperatures climbing into the mid-70s. Maybe an isolated shower across the Tennessee Valley, but it looks like the vast majority of us are going to end up staying dry. We're dropping into the upper 40s, lower 50s as we head into the overnight early Thursday morning. More cloud cover for Thursday afternoon. A couple of isolated showers certainly can't be ruled out. Temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 70s. Much the same as we head into your Friday. More cloud cover. Temperatures climbing into the upper 70s and lower 80s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Hey, there's the phone and no one to answer.
256-576-4977.
And as a result, we got many, many phone calls and letters.
Give us a call on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline today. 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Welcome to Talkin' Ball with Scott Theisen and Drew DeArmond. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline now, 256-576-4977. That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Scott and Drew.
And there you go. There you have it. We are back. We are live. It is another brand new edition of Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Scott Theisen, Drew DeArmond, welcome in, and the countdown continues. 122 days, 4 hours, 58 minutes, and 19 seconds till the start of the college football season. 35 hours, 58 minutes, and 37 seconds till the 2024 NFL Draft gets underway. So those are the two big countdowns. 122 days, 4 hours, 57 minutes, and 54 seconds till the start of the college football season. And 35 hours, 58 minutes, and 15 seconds until the start of the 2024 NFL Draft from Detroit. We will talk both college football and NFL Draft throughout these 2 hours. 256-576-4977. We will even slip in some Major League Baseball. We will slip in some college baseball. Hunter Royer going to join us at 8:01. Mike Detillier will join us at the bottom of the 8:30. Bottom of the hour in the second hour at 8:30. So now's a good time for you to join us throughout the show. College basketball news and notes. Boy, oh boy, do we got a lot to get through there. And if you are an Alabama basketball fan, I'm going to say the good news outweighed the transfer portal exit news yesterday. Because the good news for Alabama basketball was that guard Latrell Wrightsell announced that he will return for the 2024-25 season. As athletes do these days, he took to X to share a video with his announcement that just said, let's run it back. He dealt with injuries a little bit last year, but when he was on the court, he averaged a little over 8 points a game, 3 rebounds for the Tide in his first year with Alabama. And lots of times when you are, remember, we've talked about it, and we've had coaches talk to us, and they say that usually when you are in the second year of a program after transferring from said school, your production increases. Alabama hoping to get I don't want to say more, but hoping to elevate, there we go, elevate Latrell Wrightsell's game just a little bit coming up in this next season. So, Mark Sears, of course, declaring for the NBA draft but keeping his eligibility open. That's the only one really left. Now, I said the transfer portal news, the good probably outweighed the leaving news. And then Alabama did find out that Mo Wagi is going to enter the transfer portal. Now, he does become the 6th player from Alabama to enter the transfer portal this season. It'll be his 4th school in 4 years. He joins Riley Griffin, Nick Pringle, Sam Walters, Davin Crosby, and Chris Parker. So like I said, the good news is Reitzel coming back, and I think that probably is a whole lot better than Wagi going into the portal. I mean, it kind of I don't know how you should feel about that, but I imagine you feel a whole lot better about who's coming back and maybe not as concerned about who's leaving.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, I think Reitzel is a huge return for Alabama as far as him deciding to use his COVID year because, I mean, when he was on the floor, they were 10-0, and when he scored 10-plus points. And so he was the best three-point shooter in the SEC statistically, and he didn't miss a free throw. I believe he was 100% for the season. So, and he was probably one of their, I'd say he's their second best on-ball defender to Ryland Griffin. Come
on, take the money and run.
Yeah, pretty much. So, and which he hasn't picked his spot. And he was still a really good player for Alabama. You know, Ryland gave him 2 good years, but he's probably going to go to Kansas. We'll see. They haven't announced that. You know, so far Sam Walters is the only one that has gotten, his new gig, which would be at Michigan. But Reitzel, I mean, he just got better as the year went on. And then when he missed that 2 weeks, I mean, you heard Nate Oates say during the journey, it cost Alabama the regular season championship.
Right.
I think they felt like with him on the floor in the starting lineup, balancing everything and being able to play off Mark Sears, that it was a perfect fit. And so getting Latrell Reitzel back is huge. Now the other 2 decisions are looming as far as returnees with Grant Nelson and then, of course, Mark Sears. Sears is already declared. So, and I think his process will probably go to that deadline to withdraw, which is May 29th.
Right.
I was told last night that, again, it's not 100% that he's gone. They're definitely weighing their options. But if you're Alabama, you're trying to put the rest of the pieces in place. Reitzel was one of those. Grant Nelson is one you're trying to get to return. And then they've got a huge visitor, literally and figuratively, that they're hoping to have in town Saturday and Sunday. And that is, of course, Cliff Omori. And he is from Rutgers.
Yep.
He's the rim protector. He's supposed to be in Manhattan, Kansas with Jerome Tang today in Kansas State. And then he's telling everyone he's going to be in Tuscaloosa. So that he will be huge if they can get him on campus because that would be the missing piece they really didn't have last year. And so if you get that piece in place along – with Reitzel returning and potentially Grant Nelson, because that deadline to declare is coming up.
Yeah, Omori averaged a little over 10 points a game, 8.5 rebounds a game, and almost 3 block shots a game last year for Rutgers.
Yeah, and he's not going to the NBA. He's going to be on the college level. So if you're Alabama, you're trying to get Cliff Omori. You'd like Nelson to return. And then if that happens, then you've got 2 roster spots remaining.
Right.
And so you'll be concentrating on filling out your roster and I think they feel pretty good about where they are big man wise because of Muhammad Wagi. And honestly, he was on my original 4. I had 4 right after the season that I thought, okay, I don't think there's any way these cats return.
Right.
And
that's why I was saying that I think Alabama fans feel
Yeah.
good about hearing the news about
you already
Reitzel,
kind of
but then
delved
kind of
into-
like, okay, yeah, I get it with him. I mean, it's
Yeah, Reitzel you definitely wanted back. He was
right.
But with Chris Parker, he redshirted. He never played in a real game. I had heard he almost transferred at the end of the first semester, so that was not a surprise. Davin Cosby broke his foot near the end of the season, but did not play a lot. Had the shining moment at Ole Miss with the 5 threes, but only was a bit guy. He transferred. That wasn't surprising. Nick Pringle he was a key cog, but we all know the off the court stuff. You know, it was a roller coaster.
Come as a surprise.
So it did not come as a surprise that they were trying to upgrade there. And then I had Mohamed Wagee, but he stayed. And the first thing you were hearing was he was comfortable being the last big, and that, you know, he was looking to stay. And the coaches, and he did have a good attitude, good kid, good attitude. But as things unfold, and Scott, this stuff changes, you know, even hour to hour.
Right.
When you start getting interest from certain level players, and you look at your roster, and the way your roster is, you know, just turning out, and you know the calls you're getting and everything like that, well, then things can change. And of course, Mohamed Wagee probably realizes it too. Like, Wagee may have got calls via, you know, his inner circle, and then realize, hey, you know, I could move down. I'm just talking maybe group of 5 and actually play more, and still get some NIL, and so, you know, he's going to move on. And I think Alabama, you've got to feel pretty good, in my opinion, about Grant Nelson and Cliff Amore or another rim protector if you let Wagee go. Now, I know Wagee only averaged 3 points and 2 rebounds, but he was still a big body. But so you've got to feel pretty good about that. And then you still got another roster spot. And there was another Bill Pito here, a developing situation last night.
Yeah.
With the Kansas Jayhawks.
Yes.
And another high-profile prospect.
Let's get to that, but let's also get to the phone lines first. Randy is with us. Good morning, Randy.
Randy!
Good morning, fellas. How y'all?
Doing good, bud.
What's up, Chief Tuscaloosa?
I was just going to talk about it. Hey, y'all left out one fella.
Yeah.
There's a fella coming from South Florida that can shoot the ball pretty well, too.
Oh, yeah. You're talking about Chris Youngblood, yep. He basically replaced Rylan Griffin.
Well, he's as good or better.
He's a really good player. I don't really think there's going to be a fall off. He's not quite as long, but he's stout. He's a good defender, and as you said, Randy, he was the co-player of the year in the American Athletic Conference, and South Florida won that league in the regular season. And again, I think Alabama's very excited about him.
Yeah, that boy's from Tuscaloosa anyway, ain't he?
That's correct. He spent some of his earlier childhood in Tuscaloosa.
I'd like to see Sears come back and the other one. What was his name?
Grant Nelson.
Right.
Grant Nelson. I thought Grant Nelson done a good job.
Yeah.
But speaking of the Tide, you know, I got to looking at that. Hey, they took that team to the end, didn't they?
Oh yeah,
UConn. Yeah,
they did, and with Sears, I don't blame him. I think he's going to go through the combine and all the draft process and get every bit of feedback he can get, and then he'll make a final decision. I mean, he holds all the cards, and if you're Alabama, I think like a year ago, Scott, they held they had 12 on scholarship. They had a 13th open. They never used it. Well, in this situation, I think, Randy, they're going to try to do the same thing. And you hold, you know, a roster spot open for Mark Sears, but you around that situation. And again, it's sticky, but you build the team the best way you can. And then of course, it would be the ultimate cherry on top if Mark Sears returned.
Let me say a couple of things, and I'll get off here.
Sure.
Now I heard old Jeff talking here a couple of weeks ago, I believe, about that little Caitlin Clark.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something, buddy. If you listen, she can outshoot anybody.
She's good. No doubt about that.
Hey, I watched her through 5 games, missed 2 threes.
Yeah.
2 threes in 5 games. That's pretty good.
Yeah, we take what Jeff says sometimes with a grain of salt.
Hey, that Alabama football team, Drew, I think is going to be pretty good.
I think so, Randy. You know, they've still got some holes to fill, and Ed Woods may be one of those. He's about to visit the corner from Arizona State, and they've added Caden Proctor and Graham Nicholson, but I think they'd like to add at least a couple more guys. They'd like to add maybe a true safety because Ed's more of a corner or slot, and then another offensive lineman. But the offensive linemen are kind of hard to find, especially tackles, because everybody's needing O-line. But, yeah, Randy, I think they need at least a couple more guys to kind of round out the squad. If they could find a really good high-level wide receiver with experience too, or a big-time defensive lineman, I think they do that. But I think they're being very strategic in who they're targeting. And much like Alabama basketball, if they bring a guy on campus, they're definitely interested and want you to be a part of the program. So I think, I saw somebody put out yesterday, and I don't know if this is true. You never knew if it was true under Nick Saban about Alabama being right at the 85. Look, man, I never buy that. You never know.
Right.
But, and then they did have their first departure in Curtis Perry, who was a redshirt sophomore defensive lineman who never played, and I think was in the doghouse half the time, quite frankly, to be blunt. But, a talented kid, and may go somewhere and do well, but we'll see. I still think there could be another couple of departures, but I think they need probably 2 or 3 more pieces, and if they can find the right fits. And again, the next 2 weeks are going to be interesting because guys have to go ahead and get in the portal. But, Randy, I think they'd like to add maybe another piece in the defensive backfield if they can get Ed Woods, maybe one more, and then, 1 or 2 more offensive linemen if they can find the right guys.
Randy.
I still say that portal's screwing everything up.
Well,
yes,
I don't disagree.
All right.
Appreciate you, Randy.
Thanks for the phone call, Randy. Let's get a break in. When we come back,
good to hear from Randy.
We'll get to more phone calls. Let's get a break in. We'll get some more phone calls. And we got other college basketball and some more football notes, draft notes. We got a lot of stuff to get through.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. Listen to Talkin' Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond.
Man, I appreciate what you guys do. I know credit got Drew, Talkin' Ball 7 until 9 on my show when I feature Drew, and certainly have a great relationship with Wes and Steve and Tom and all you guys, man. It's always fun to hang out with you with media days, different bowl events, but I always appreciate the partnership. I almost feel like we're sister stations with 97.7 The Zone, the only sports station in the Rockets. And thank you so much.
Every weekday morning, wake up with Scott and Drew. It's Talkin' Ball on 97.7 The Zone.
Are you tired of chasing a roofing contractor to show up on time or even show up at all? I'm Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Our motto at Fleming Roofing is we show up. Our goal at Fleming Roofing is to provide the reliable customer service that you deserve, and we have the resources to meet all of your roofing needs: residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. We are manufacturer certified for roof coatings, single-ply membranes, and asphalt shingles. Whenever you need a roofing professional you can count on, call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We are committed to finding the solution that meets your needs. We don't have quotas or heavy-handed sales tactics. Fleming Roofing, we have expert experience. We show up. Free estimates, residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. Check us out at FlemingHSV.com. FlemingHSV.com. When you need a quick response, it's Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
Folks, it's Truck Month and more at Woody Anderson Ford. Hey, Bobby White back again with the best selection and best deals on F-150, Explorer, Expedition, Bronco, Edge, Bronco Sport, and the all-electric Mustang Mach-E. Come on in for financing as low as 1.9% for up to 72 months on a 2023 F-150 Crew Cab, and lease payments as low as $375 a month. Put an F-150 in your driveway for $375 a month. That's a 36-month lease with $62.82 due at signing, zero security deposit, just tax tag title, and your good credit. This offer ends 4/30/24. Call 539-9441 for complete details. At Woody Anderson Ford, you can choose from nearly 30 Expeditions with financing as low as 2.9% for 72 months. And talk about freedom, never stop at a gas station again in the all-electric 23 Mach-E with financing as low as 0% for 72 months. Come see us today. It's Truck Month and more at Woody Anderson Ford. Hope to see you soon.
Progressive presents Flo and JB announcing a monster truck rally.
And here comes the Obliterator.
Whoa! And he's up on 2 wheels. That can't be safe.
Oh, I don't recommend flipping your car backwards.
Did he even check his blind spot?
And the car's on fire.
I definitely don't recommend that.
This is one of my recurring nightmares.
Progressive is all about keeping it safe, so bundle your home and auto for 24/7 protection. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Coverage not provided for monster trucks. Not available in all states.
I don't see anything accident-wise that's causing any major problems this morning. Traffic continuing to build in nicely. They start panoply closures in the downtown area around Big Spring Park today, so that's going to be a problem. You may need to alter your travel plans for that. Officers, construction workers, and first responders put their lives on the line every time they step on the roadway. Why not make it safer for them? Slow down or move over. It's the law. Captain Nick in the Jordan Lane, Popeye Skywatch Traffic Center.
Sports Talk 24/7 365. Your full-time sports station.
You're doing a great job. Keep up the good work.
Is 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Doesn't anyone do any work around this joint anymore?
What's happening? What's happening?
They're counting down the draft.
Yes.
35 hours.
39 minutes and 43 seconds.
Yep.
Till the
Until
NFL
Caleb
draft.
Chilane goes to the Bears.
We're going to talk about the draft here in just a smidge. But first, we finished segment 1 there, or however you want to call it, right out of the gates, talking about college basketball. And
some interesting developments.
Because we've seen them play. We've seen this individual play in the Huntsville City Classic.
Yep.
And at the time, coming out of the Classic, he makes a college choice to go to Auburn. Was committed to Auburn for several months, and then decommits from Auburn, opens up his recruitment, and decides to head to the Ohio State of the basketball world, and that is the Kansas Jayhawks. And I say that because Kansas has spent a lot of money on a basketball program, like Ohio State has spent a lot of money on a football program.
I know Arkansas's got Jerry Jones saying stuff and Cal going out there, and they're starting to flip people. And, Kentucky's still going to be Kentucky, but I don't think there's anybody that will outspin Kansas if they want someone.
Not right now.
No.
But LeBaron Philon is the individual who we are talking about.
Correct.
Was set to go to Kansas.
And had already
signed his letter of intent to go to Kansas.
Right. Yep.
But now wants out of his letter of intent from Kansas and is going to open back up his recruitment.
Yeah, he is. He's going to open his recruitment back up, and so that opens up some very interesting possibilities. But with both in-state schools, because Auburn's been looking for guards. They've already got J.P. Pagida. And, he committed to Auburn first and was committed for several months, including during the time that he was playing in the Huntsville City Classic, averaging nearly, 35 points a game and leading his team to the championship game against the Sparkman Senators. And many believed he should have been MVP even on a losing team, but he was tremendous in that tournament, one of the best players we've ever seen. And now he ended up spending his senior season at Link Academy in Missouri for Bill Armstrong, who we know in the state very well. And had a really good year there for Link. They're one of the top 5 teams or so in the country. And as you said, Scott, he signed with Kansas, committed to them. That was his second commitment. Now, he I know Alabama was recruiting him. He looked at Alabama, was very interested in them. He was still interested in Auburn. I know Bruce Pearl, has still been on him. What really turned it for Auburn in the negative situation is where I think he was very close with Wes Flanagan, and Wes Flanagan left and took his son Allen to Ole Miss. And when he first reopened his recruitment, I was told Ole Miss and Alabama. And so I was like, that's going to be very interesting. When he didn't commit to Alabama, within a few weeks, I thought he may very well end up with Chris Beard and Wes Flanagan at Ole Miss. And then Kansas turned up the heat again because what happens? They miss on a couple of guys. But now Boogie's out there, and Boogie Fland was somebody Kansas wanted very much, as did Arkansas.
Right.
I don't think Boogie's going back to Kentucky. So
I think he's going to end up with Calipari in Arkansas.
He very well may, but Kansas is probably wanting a little bit to say about that. And Kansas, we all know they've been very active in the portal.
Yeah, well, last year they spent over $4 million to put a basketball team on the floor.
And to nearly lose to Buckyball. But, but of course their best player, one of their 2 best players, gets hurt, their best perimeter player. And so what happens? And though they start taking all these guys in the portal, and LeBaron Philon's like, I may want to go somewhere else. And so now that opens up the possibilities with Ole Miss too, because of Wes Flanagan. So I would watch Alabama very, very closely. I would watch Auburn. I would watch Ole Miss. I mean, this is a very talented kid. He's ranked in the top 35 or so in the country. He's raw as a point guard, but an athletic phenomenon. And I still think he's someone – I don't think he's a one-and-done, Scott, personally. I think he's a kid that needs to play 2 or 3 years of college. And if he played in a system like Nate Oates, which is free-flowing and wide open, and continued to develop, I think he's like a Kyra Lewis. I think he could play 2 or 3 years of college and end up a lottery pick. Kyra played 2 years.
Right,
only one in Oates' system, but he ended up a lottery pick, okay? I think LeBaron Philon is along those same lines.
256-576-4977. That's the number for the program. You can join us on the show this morning. Philon currently is ranked as the number 3 overall point guard in the class. So something to keep an eye on with LeBaron Philon. Again, 256-576-4977. That is how you can join us. There was our college basketball conversation. 7:26 here on a Wednesday morning. Did you have fun last night?
I mean, it was.
You were out at the Trash Pandas
the
game.
coolest part was we were going on break, and we were out there in right field, which is I call it Czarville because they almost got hit by the homer. But Steve and I were out there early, and they were having batting practice, and luckily the right fielder did warn us one time. He's like, "Hey, incoming," and it didn't get that high. It one hop the fence, but we never got pelted.
Never got pelted.
No, never got pelted. And we turned around during the show because we were on for an hour, just in enough time to see the celebrity throw a strike.
Yeah.
Chad threw a strike
from the Tom Abraham show.
Because we were previewing it. I was giving his props, saying, I was really happy for him. He was getting showcased. It was WCZN night. He gets to represent us.
Did you go play-by-play on the first pitch?
No, because I just turned around and right after we went to break, I just previewed it, and then I was like, oh, there he is. And then because they had a line of people, out there at the mound, and there's Chad all of a sudden. We didn't get a chance to do it over the air, but he throws a strike. It was a little. Did
you bring the heat?
Yeah, I threw it a little hard. I actually was trying to get it throw it hard enough to get it across the plate.
Well, he was like a step in front of the mound. At first, I thought he'd be on the mound, but he was like,
no, they didn't let you.
Yeah, they didn't. Yeah.
So they put you in an assembly line. They gave you a number. I was last actually going after. I think it's this new place called Blue Oak Barbecue. By the way, guys.
Blue Oak.
So there's this new place opening up, and they were dressed. The guy was dressed as a pig,
Lord.
So I was going after the pig, and so I was like, "Oh, I can't screw this up."
That's a tough act to follow.
I was like, I can't screw this up. So I was watching everybody go before me. A couple people threw it a little too hard. It bounced. He
followed through, man.
Older guy threw it. He threw it right in there, and then right before we walked up to the mound, though, they said, "Yeah, you're not touching the mound." I mean, the groundskeeper, he keeps that thing immaculate, so I understand completely. But yeah, we didn't get to throw from the mound, and I threw it, and I mean it was still a good enough distance. But yeah, it was right in the strike zone.
Yeah, he
was a little inside,
a little high and inside.
There we go.
But yeah, no, I was sweating bullets a little bit, and then I was looking for anybody from the station that was taking pictures, and then John shows up right downstairs with his camera right before we walk up. So he was just like, "I'm ready," because he was up at the tent and everything. So
there's no evidence that you actually.
No, there is evidence.
Okay.
I do have a video.
Okay,
it's on my phone,
Good.
but I have not seen John's video. John showed me something, but I don't think that was his. I think that was from his phone or something. So I want to see what he got from his camera.
Because I didn't have my binoculars, so I couldn't zoom in. But luckily, they have that scoreboard which zooms in, and I mean, I turned my head, and luckily, just in enough time to see Chad follow through.
They also got me on the muscle cam last night, so I was just I was pretty.
There you go. Give him some kudos.
That's because we were sitting in better seats.
Yeah,
and I'm usually walking around. So
yeah, I mean, and where we were out there in right field, it was crowded. I mean, it was a
great night for a ball game.
There was a lot of
people. And the fair next door is
going
to be really cool. The fair next door too. They got the big old fair going on.
Okay.
Yeah, because I saw the food trucks.
It's a lot bigger than I thought it was from before. They've got a lot of cool attractions.
Right.
Because as I was making my way around, and then Luckily, as I got there at like 4:45 into the parking lot, our guy, one of our former board ops that you know very well, that helped you out with the high school football scoreboard show powered by the Huntsville Sports Commission. Is it North Alabama? I can't ever remember.
And Woody Anderson Ford.
But yeah, I left.
But it was Huntsville
the North
Sports
Alabama
Commission.
High School Football Scoreboard Show powered by Woody Anderson Ford and the Huntsville Sports Commission. I guess that's the best way to put it.
It's the
right
Woody
now.
Anderson Ford High School Football Scoreboard Show powered by the Huntsville Sports Commission.
There you go.
Well, Scotty,
Powered by both.
he was
Okay,
he helped get me parked there.
Okay,
and
very good.
I got there early enough before it was really slammed. And when we got in there,
you need to go over there early, and then you got to walk across the street, but you got to walk over to the milkshake yard.
Oh yeah,
and get you a milkshake.
But see, I can't drink one of them gargantuan things, man.
That's true.
That's really not smart. I mean,
you can get ice cream in the helmet, in the stadium too.
That.
Oh, they do have the helmets back
you
like
can
the
do
stars.
the little helmets. Yeah.
You get to pick your own helmet, or do they just give you?
I think it's just like a red Trash Pandas one.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, they used to give you the Major League ones because you'd always try to just
collect them all.
Yeah, collect them all.
All right, 7:30. Let's get a break in. When we come back, college. There's a familiar name trying to do something to college football's group of 5 teams. I'm going to throw the name out there, and you'd be surprised. Will it come as a surprise to what he's doing? Probably not.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
I'm here today with Dr. Tracy Lowry of Veracity Vein Center. Now, how does someone suspect they have vein issues?
The most common symptoms associated with vein issues include leg heaviness, aching, and swelling, with some patients having visible veins as well. Vein issues can be easily diagnosed using ultrasound, with treatments performed as an outpatient using the latest minimally invasive techniques. Diagnosis and treatment is covered by most insurances. Both men and women have vein issues, though men may be more likely to ignore their symptoms when they're playing golf or walking the stadium steps. They too will benefit from correction of their vein problem. Patients can contact our clinics in Huntsville and new clinics in Madison and Coleman at 256-715-7151 or visit us at veracityweincenter.com.
Veracity Vein Center, Alabama's premier vein center.
Spring is in the air, making it a great time to make plans to visit the Lodge at Guntersville State Park. The Lodge at Guntersville State Park sits on a cliff overlooking beautiful Guntersville Lake with vistas from the cliffside rooms as well as the Pinecrest Room, the Lodge's premier restaurant. And as the weather warms, enjoy the gorgeous pool that overlooks the lake as well. The park also features cabins, a beach, and a boat launch, so bring your boat to take the fun to the lake. The Lodge at Guntersville State Park. Book your visit today.
You don't have to go somewhere else just so you can go somewhere new. Plan your next vacation with Huntsville International Airport and Breeze Airways. Enjoy friendly, convenient, nonstop travel to some of the most exciting destinations in the U.S., including the home of 12 world-famous theme parks, Orlando, Florida. With flights starting as low as just $49, Breeze has got you covered with easy, breezy, nonstop flights to Orlando. Make all their dreams come true. Book nonstop to Orlando now at flybreeze.com.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A partly sunny sky this afternoon. Temperatures climbing into the mid-70s. Maybe an isolated shower across the Tennessee Valley, but it looks like the vast majority of us are going to end up staying dry. We're dropping into the upper 40s, lower 50s as we head into the overnight early Thursday morning. More cloud cover for Thursday afternoon. A couple of isolated showers certainly can't be ruled out. Temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 70s. Much the same as we head into your Friday. More cloud cover. Temperatures climbing into the upper 70s and lower 80s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Still working with a clean slate this morning. We've had a couple of minor accidents, but they've been out of the way almost immediately. They're starting panoply closures downtown around Big Spring Park. That'll be in place, of course, through Monday, so you may need to alter your travel plans there. You get 2 pieces of hand-breaded, juicy, tender signature chicken and a buttermilk biscuit for $4.99 at Popeyes. University in Jordan, 72 in Jeff, North Parkway, and now South Parkway. Captain Nick in the Popeyes Skywatch Traffic Center.
This will turn journalism on its ear.
Watch our stream on WZZN TV on Twitch and YouTube.
But you are the greatest hero in American history.
We are 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
All right, welcome back. Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. Scott Tyson, Drew DeArmond. Welcome back into the show. Wednesday morning, 7:35. Wednesday morning. We've made it to the halfway point of the week. There's an interesting thing in college football. Apparently, the SEC and the Big Ten have pissed off the Group of Five conferences.
Oh, boo-hoo-hoo. We talked about this last night.
Well,
I don't care. They need to combine with the FCS and just have their own dang championship.
So are you shocked? Are you shocked at all that former Tennessee head coach Derek Dooley is leading the charge in trying to get the Group of Five conferences basically to have their own postseason playoff or an even wide-scale Group of Five realignment with a private equity, basically splitting away because everybody else has pissed them off, and they're just going to do their own thing. Are you shocked that Derek Dooley is trying to lead the charge to get the American, the Sun Belt, the Mountain West, the MAC, and Conference USA to all be in one?
It's the only time he was worth 10 cents as a head coach was when he was at Louisiana Tech as head coach and athletic director. So I guess not. He's got a big-time last name. Obviously, this is how we figured out he wasn't working at Alabama anymore, because we knew a lot of the analysts got let go because he was working for Saban for the last 2 or 3 years after he got the zig from Jerry Jones and everything as wide receivers coach of the Cowboys. So, but again, it makes sense. I still think that the FCS / Group of Five needs the Power Five to pay their bills because they're going to want to play those teams and get guaranteed games. There won't be as many of them because I think there's going to be more conference games, but there will still be opportunities, and I still think they need them in that regard. But, yes, I mean, they're not going to get a big piece of the pie. And as I told Steve Moulton last night, Boise State, I know they beat Oklahoma in the Fiesta Bowl and everything like that, but in football you might have one of those once in a blue moon. But when you play, if you have to win 2 or 3 of them, you're going to get smashed. Okay, nobody. The big dogs are not going to underestimate you after you pull an upset. They're going to be ready for you, and you're going to get beat. You're not going to win a national championship, right, Boise State, when you're playing the Oklahomas, the Alabamas, and the Texases, and the Georgias, and everybody like that. So if they want to, decide to basically, as I termed it last night, have FCS on steroids, go ahead, because you can compete for a national championship. But they still need the Power Five because, again, you can make $1 million and win a national championship and have a very nice living. But if you want to pay for your whole athletic department, you're still going to need a big check from a Power Five school. But, yeah, I don't blame them. They don't have much of a chance.
Could this do away with bowl games, though? Could this, if the Group of Five came out with their own playoffs?
You could use the bowls to do it. That, I guess you would lose the regular bowl system, but you could use the bowl system to be part of the FCS, whatever the hell they'd end up calling it. You could still use bowl games for that. You just would have what you would end up having is just a tiered playoff system,
right?
And
but if you have a Power 5 national champion and a Group of 5 national champion, how do you determine then? I mean, is the Group of 5 going to say, "Well, we're a national champion"?
Yeah, they can have a parade, but everybody knows if they played the Power 5 national champion, your halftime score is 35-3, and your final score is 65-10. Okay, that's basically what the hell's going to happen. We know you're not you're the national champion of your division. Yes, you can claim a championship. It would just be like, this time, though, you'd have a Power 5 championship. You'd have an FCS / whatever the hell you'd rename it with a group of 5. And then you'd have, a Division 2 and then a Division 3. You'd have 4 championships. And you could divvy the bowl games amongst all that, and then la-di-da, everybody have a good time. You know what I'm saying? Quit all this namby-pamby, boo-hoo-hoo, what are we going to do with the bowls? You know what you can do at the bowls. And then, hell, at least, then they would almost mean more. I know the SEC's kind of patented that, but it would, because it's a postseason game where you can move on, where it's not over. I know everybody wants a trophy. Oh, we won the Sun Bowl and prance around. We won a bowl game. Who cares? Win a playoff game. Playoff sounds better than bowl.
Well, that's where you get your money, though.
Right.
The SEC,
but you're still going to get paid if you're in the playoffs.
That's true.
I mean, this will set it all up. We're modernizing the game. Things are going to have to change. Everybody's talking about the tradition of college football, this and that. Well, it's going to have to change. It's changing. The players are all getting paid.
5 years ago, we said this is where the trajectory was going because of all of the money.
Tyler Barron, what is he doing? He's re-entering the transfer portal every 15 minutes. I thought he had left Tennessee to go to Ole Miss, then found out he left Ole Miss to go to Louisville, and now he's left Louisville to go back in the dang portal. Decide where you're going.
You know why?
Why?
Because Talent Heating and Air was going to show him the money.
You left the air horn off the Letty's commercial. I really missed that.
Shit. He was doing the Talent Heating and Air, show me the money.
Hey, is Richard still there? I thought we had a phone call.
No, do we?
Oh, did Richard drop?
Okay, let's get out to the phone lines. We got time. I believe Richard is with us. Good morning, Richard.
Good morning.
Sorry, I just clicked there, Richard. I was like, we started.
Right.
We went on a rant here, and I forgot.
Discussion.
Well, what else is news? No, I'm just going to say it's big news. Wrightsville coming back.
Oh yeah.
For basketball. Great news there because, like you were saying, probably the leading 3-point shooter in during SEC play anyway.
Oh yeah, he was tremendous really all year when he was healthy. Once he got acclimated, jumping up from Cal State Fullerton to the SEC.
One thing too, Wagee did lead the NCAA in one category.
What was it? Fouls per minute.
Fouls per minute.
Yeah.
So
can't play dead in a Big Western.
We're gonna miss those fouls per minute. Although he was tall, like you said, he was a big out. So because hopefully, I guess in the next week or so, the roster, outside of Sears, you'll have a good idea on the roster, or most of it anyway. Heading into the summer.
Yeah, no doubt.
Out. Guys, you were talking about bowl games. I've been following Bama for years, but you're talking about the kind of the history. But you don't go back to like '74 and go that Liberty Bowl was a big win. Unless it was a sugar or cotton, who cares?
Right.
Well, it's true. But there were there's some programs though that do sit there and say, you know what, and because the way college athletics worked before was this is a young team. You go down to the Outback Bowl or you go to the Capital One Bowl and you get a win. And it's like, man, you got your starting quarterback back next year. You got your offensive line back next year. You can parlay that into a run maybe down the road. But now these days that narrative has changed because half of those guys aren't going to be there the next year anyway because of the portal.
Yeah, that was kind of like the NIT on the old days. You would kind of have a young team, and I want to go to the NIT, but now half your team will transfer. So it's just.
It's for the Indiana States of the world.
Yep.
New world, you just got to adapt and go.
Yeah, no doubt.
Out. So, you were talking about Alabama being at 85. Do you think the other kicker might transfer?
I guess it's possible. Even though he would he could wait a year and then still have 3 years of eligibility left because he would. I don't know if he got an official red shirt last year, but you could certainly officially red shirt him this year with Graham Nicholson coming in, which means he'd have 3 years of eligibility if he needs to work through some things. And, again, being the kicker at Alabama is a big deal. Now, if you're going to transfer, if you're Connor Talty, you better have a good situation lined up. So if I were him, I'd probably wait it out because, again, if you can start multiple years at kicker at Alabama, unless you think they're going to recruit another one, and they'll probably be honest with him. But they haven't so far. I haven't heard them connected to a kicker. We'll have to see this summer. But if you're Connor Talty, you just sort of wait. And, again, he doesn't have a lot of skins on the wall, so I don't know how – if you're not a proven kicker, I don't know how – you go out and you go somewhere else like Power 5-ish.
Right.
Unless they just say, well, he's an Alabama kicker. But Joseph Bulovas, when he went from Alabama to Vanderbilt, he had graduated and he had kicked. I mean, you had seen some results from him, even if it was erratic. So I don't know. Talty, if I'm Talty, if Alabama tells me we still believe in you, keep working, then I'm probably going to stay and
it's only 1 year.
Yeah, and try to be ready for 2025.
All right, Richard. Thanks.
Go ahead,
see you
Richard.
guys later.
All right, see you.
All right, thanks, Richard.
Yep.
All right, let's get one more in real fast. Who we have? Brandon's with us. Good morning, Brandon.
Hey, I sent Drew the other day that Division III was getting ready to approve a 40-team playoff.
Good Lord, whatever. Let them do it. It's a headache.
That's a lot of teams. I don't know how many games that equates to by the time you play the whole regular season and the end of the season. But
I don't have a clue, man. But, if they want to have a bigger playoff, let them.
Well, it'd be something good something to bet on anyway for degenerate people like me who don't mind throwing around $50 and $100 here and there. And the wife asked me this morning.
I wouldn't know enough about the Division III teams to put any money down anyway.
Oh, no. I just know, unfortunately, we ain't got Birmingham Southern anymore, which stinks.
I mean, there's a team in Minnesota, or Wisconsin. Is it one? I think there's one in Wisconsin. Yeah, that you always bet on to win. I think they've won 1 million of them. Yeah.
And what was the other one? The one that I'm. Go ahead, Brandon.
My wife asked me this morning, she said, did Drew wear the hat? And I said, what hat? She said,
Lord.
In-and-out hat I put in the box. And I said, you put an in-and-out hat in the box? And
I almost lost that thing, man. I was about to throw the box away, and I looked in the bottom. I was like, what the hell is this? I thought it was first I thought it was just like a piece of paper or like some napkins or something. And then I took it out, and I was like, oh, it's a little hat. I do have the hat in the truck. I didn't wear it yet, but I figured out. I didn't throw it away. I figured out it was a hat in the bottom of the box. I figured you put it in there. Well, appreciate it there, Andre.
No, but as far as that Division III, I mean, I would go in there and, spread some money out and bet on that. It's almost like the Kentucky Derby because I don't ever really know much about the horses every year, but I'll be sitting around with people and we'll just be like, all right, I got $10 on this horse.
Right.
And there's nothing like cheering for a horse when you have no idea about it. And taking $50 or $60 that you didn't have a few minutes ago just because you're a bunch of degenerates.
Oh, Lord.
I would be horrible at betting on horses. I'd be horrible at betting on.
I mean, I used to bet when I was younger, but I mean, it's so tough. It was mostly college football, but
I'd be horrible at it.
Yeah.
Well, it was the Jackrabbits was that Division II North Dakota that was so cold this year that they actually had to bring a trailer in for them to warm up.
1AA. It's the
1AA.
Yeah, it's the FCS.
So if you got a 40-team playoff, I'm wondering if you got to back the beginning of your season up to keep from ending up in a situation like that to where your fans don't show up because you might freeze to death and die of hypothermia before the game's over with.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. A lot of those Division III, a lot of the prominent Division III schools, they are in the Minnesota, Wisconsin area. Some are in the Illinois area. That's pretty much where the heavy concentration of the good Division III teams are. It's in that Midwest, kind of more into the Ohio, Pennsylvania area.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, that ain't Cherokee Ridge cold. That's real cold.
Yeah, that's bone-ass chilling cold right there. That'll get you down to the bones.
Well, I mean,
roll Tide.
All right, thanks, Brandon.
We had one of our callers, Matt Schmitz. I met a few years ago when Bobby Wallace got the UNA Lions back. He was in the blizzard over in Kansas City.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you what, he sent me a picture.
So Wisconsin Whitewater went on a run of national championships, okay? 2007, 2009, 2010, 11, 13, 14. You know who the coach was there at Wisconsin Whitewater during that time?
Who was the coach at Wisconsin Whitewater during all those championships? Dadgummit.
He's coaching a Power 5 team now.
Power 5. Was it Kleiman?
Nope, Lance Leopold.
Leopold, okay.
Now at Kansas.
Well, yeah, because Kleiman was Division I AA, though.
Yeah, Kleiman was 1 AA, yeah.
Yeah.
Lance Leopold was coaching all those Wisconsin Whitewater teams. All right, let's get a break in. When we come back, wrap up hour 1.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
The company is Eagle Masonry and Insulation, but did you know they're also Eagle Landscaping and Dirt Work? Eagle can take care of all your landscaping needs, including irrigation, sod work, and planting, both plants and trees. On the dirt work side, Eagle can grade and build your pads, haul dirt in or out, and even do erosion control. Philip Love and his team can do it all for you. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
Folks, it's Truck Month and more at Woody Anderson Ford. Hey, Bobby White back again with the best selection and best deals on F-150, Explorer, Expedition, Bronco, Edge, Bronco Sport, and the all-electric Mustang Mach-E. Come on in for financing as low as 1.9% for up to 72 months on a 2023 F-150 Crew Cab, and lease payments as low as $375 a month. Put an F-150 in your driveway for $375 a month. That's a 36-month lease with $62.82 due at signing, 0 security deposit, just tax tag title, and your good credit. This offer ends 4/30/24. Call 539-9441 for complete details. At Woody Anderson Ford, you can choose from nearly 30 Expeditions with financing as low as 2.9% for 72 months. And talk about freedom. Never stop at a gas station again in the all-electric 23 Mach-E with financing as low as 0% for 72 months. Come see us today. It's Truck Month and more at Woody Anderson Ford. Hope to see you soon.
I'm attorney Gary Lackey. If you've been injured and need a lawyer right now, do you know who you really get?
I'm attorney Jennifer Lackey. You want to talk to your lawyer. My clients talk to me.
And me. I'm attorney Justin Lackey. We're the ones that you talk to.
And we're the ones who handle your personal injury case.
And we'll take care of it.
The Lackey Law Firm. 1-800-4-RIGHTS.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
What if I told you that Bigfoot is real and that he's making the best donuts you've ever had? Come see for yourself at Bigfoot's Little Donuts. Come in and order from over 50 flavors, all made hot and delicious. Ranked in the top 100 donut shops in the nation by Yelp. Bigfoot Little Donuts. Order in store or online at bigfootslittledonuts.com for pickup or delivery from Grub South or DoorDash. South Parkway, Huntsville, and County Line Road, Madison. Bigfoot's Little Donuts.
This segment of Talkin' Ball is brought to you by University Kia, the #1 volume Kia dealer in the state of Alabama. Located online at universitykia.com.
Welcome back, 7:53 on a Wednesday morning. Something we are keeping an eye on. This is a developing situation going on in Pell City right now.
Oh,
For
Lord.
those that don't know, coming up in 7 minutes.
Yeah.
The Pell City Board of Education.
Yeah, they're bored.
Is going to have a meeting in 7 minutes, and the topic of the meeting is the tenure of head football coach Rush Propst. He could be out. There's a large crowd that's already gathered outside the Pell City Board meeting right now, but it is expected. There is great feeling that Rush Propst's job is in great jeopardy once again at Pell City.
No, I had to say this last night when I started. Here we go, another headline from Ben just coming in. Ben Thomas is out there, and it's about to start soon. Oh, never mind. I'm sorry. Ben is not there. He's out of Mobile, I should say. Evan Dudley Do Right on X or social media. Evan Dudley, who covers the Birmingham schools, he is on the scene and said it's a packed house, and Rush Prost is a topic. More to come. As we see this house, I guess this is where the board meets.
Yeah, that's where the board is meeting. It's an interesting situation. To be honest with you, I don't know where he went wrong on this one. I've not heard anything.
Well, I think it's a combination of things, Scott. He had some instances on the sidelines where he went a little ape last year, representing Pell City. Most of it towards his son, who was playing on the team. I heard some other stuff. Nothing scandalous off the field, but the usual stuff you hear with Rush. As far as not meshing with administrators and getting along with people, co-workers and things of that nature in the administration, which has happened everywhere he's been. As I phrased this last night to some people, it's another chapter to just a bizarre book that's just polarizing. Because if this happens, I know Rush was reached for comment last night. He didn't want to say anything, but it does sound like, barring a last-minute change, that he is going to be voted out at Pell City.
This has to be it for him, right?
No. I just don't think he can stop coaching. Somebody will hire him, Scott. He wins, and so he's
not long. He hasn't been at a school long enough.
I know,
but he even try to win.
And they've done the vacated stupid stuff, which I don't ever believe in. He's won 300 football games. He's won wherever he's been. He didn't have time to turn Pell City around. I think he probably eventually would have. But he wins football games, man. So he's got a teaching certificate in Georgia still. He's got one in Alabama, obviously. He had this job. I think it's in his blood. I don't think he wants to stop coaching. So I wouldn't be surprised if somebody hires him. But it looks like it's going to be a one and done at Pell City. Even though I think he has a lot of supporters over there.
No, he does.
But he's had supporters wherever he's been.
That's what's crazy.
So
that is what's crazy. He has the supporters, but there's always the anti-Rush Prost people that their voice is heard louder, and he usually does not have the job. But anyway, that is the developing situation going on at Pell City.
We've got to get that voiceover from Bill Pito. That used to be one of the classics. A developing situation. I love Bill Pito. Old school. That's when Sports Center was Sports Center.
Not a propaganda center?
Oh, no. Not LeBron Center.
Did you hear? Okay, Ledum, speaking of Ledum.
Yeah.
He's blaming the loss the other night. When they had the 20-point loss, when they blew the 20-point lead.
Yeah.
He's blowing it on a third quarter replay call from the replay.
They were up 20 points. He took a three that could have won the game, and he almost airballed it because he's a gagger. He's always been a dadgum gagger, man.
A lollygagger. He's a lollygagger. What do we have here?
What does that make us, Larry?
Lollygaggers. We're on the bird. We're on. Anyway, that is a great baseball movie, and that is a great segue. Beautifully done. Coming up with our first guest.
We got an all-timer here with my listener. I'll use
Buford.
What we have here in Pell City is a complete disrespect for coaching.
Oh, man. All right, we got to get a break in. Hunter Royer is going to join us next. UAH head baseball coach.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Unlike other credit cards that decline sports betting transactions or treat them as a cash advance, the GBank Visa Signature Card can load directly to your favorite sportsbook apps. G.bank/VSiN.
On the NBA schedule tonight, 2 games are on the slate. The Thunder battle the Pelicans, with Oak City leading that series 1-0 to none. Oklahoma City is a 7.5-point favorite at home. The over-under 210.5. The Pelicans plus 260 on the money line. Elsewhere, Miami battles Boston. The Celtics up 1-0 in the series. Boston favored by 14.5 at the Garden. If the Heat pull off the upset, the payoff is plus 750. Over-under 202.5. Plus 120. Boston remains the betting favorite to win the NBA title. Get the latest lines and more at vsin.com.
WCZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Got a wreck on University near Research Park. That one's coming in as a no injury. 565 eastbound, east of mile marker 3. Looks like a little bit of traffic slowdown there. That one reported minor injury. And we had County Line and Madison Boulevard, but it got moved off into a parking lot. Dr. Sandman has the Somnodent, a safe, insurance-approved alternative for snoring and sleep apnea. Dr. Randall Sandlin, 350-CARE. Captain Nick in the North Parkway Popeyes Skywatch Traffic Center.
From Coleman to Fayetteville and all points in between.
Son, pull the hammer back. Smokey's coming at you in a plain white wrapper.
97.7 ESPN The Zone. Welcome to Talkin' Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline now, 256-576-4977. That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Scott and Drew.
We're going to kick off hour number 2, courtesy of our good friends over at Sportsmed Orthopedic Surgery and Spine Center. You need to give them a call. 256-881-5151. You got to experience that SportsMed difference. SportsMed Orthopedic Surgery and Spine Center, dedicated to providing care that improves lives. And the reason why we need SportsMed Orthopedic Surgery and Spine Center is because they are the official training providers for UAH Chargers. And I believe the Chargers just scored another run.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, did you see their midweek game last night? Did you hear about their midweek game?
I did not hear about it.
So they traveled up north. When I say north, just across the state line. They took on UT Southern.
Yeah,
for those that don't know, former Martin
Yep.
Methodist. And the Chargers' offense was on fire last night. On fire. They had a 10-run first inning, en route to a 25-6 win over UT Martin.
Yeah, I mean,
or UT Southern, my bad.
Yeah, I mean, when you score 10 runs in one inning, hey, you're locked in.
That's locked in.
The thing around college baseball that seems to be lacking is just overall, though, pitching. I mean, pitching has been, certainly Alabama's had issues with it. We've talked about Auburn and their issues in the SEC with enough depth on the mound. Pitching is at a premium, though, Scott. I don't think there's any question about that.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. So our next guest, though,
huge win, though.
Yeah. It's a huge win because now they're 22-22 on the season.
And I'm just telling you, down the stretch, especially in the Gulf South Conference, it's about getting hot and getting pitching healthy, getting guys locked into roles. You're trying to get hot at the right time and make a postseason run. We've seen this a million times. And our next guest has been through this. I mean, he's been the longtime baseball coach and a great friend of ours at the University of Alabama in Huntsville. And, of course, it's Hartsville's own Hunter Royer. And, of course, he's also the father of our prognosticator, and that is Grady the Greek that we love so much during football season. He always takes a sabbatical until football. He doesn't do hoops, doesn't do baseball. He's too busy playing those sports. But Hunter Royer has been good enough to join us, courtesy of SportsMed Surgery and Spine Center. Coach, how are you?
I'm doing all right, guys. How are y'all today?
We're doing good. I mean, and Coach, I know this year has been up and down, but going to Tennessee Southern, formerly the Martin Methodist, scoring 10 runs in the first inning's big.
It was. They, we got to play a lot of guys yesterday, and that was really what we wanted to do, and got to play some guys that hadn't gotten 5-10 at-bats all year. Actually hit a home run late in the game, so we were proud for him, and got to pitch some guys that hadn't been able to pitch much, a couple of seniors, and so it was a good day all the way around.
And we've talked about it, Coach, and pitching is such a hard thing, and getting guys out there and injuries. I mean, you guys have dealt with, I think, about as much tough news as you could handle for one season.
Yeah, it's been frustrating. I mean, it's been a tough year. I mean, obviously we just hadn't done a lot of things well. That's on me. It's, hopefully that our younger players see some things. And, I know in a season like this, I feel like I've learned more this year than I probably ever have.
Right.
I've learned more about our team. I've learned myself, things I need to do better. And so hopefully we'll get better for it. That's the ultimate goal. But, pitching, I heard you say it, Drew. I mean, pitching is, and I'm not just saying this on our behalf, but I've talked to a lot of other coaches.
Oh, yes.
Whether it's Division I, JUCO, Division II, and I mean, pitching's kind of an epidemic right now. I mean, people may not want to hear that, but it's as bad as it's ever been at every level. And I mean, just throwing strikes.
Yeah.
Not getting hit, just
Right.
throwing strikes. And that's
where is the problem, though? I mean, where does it all begin?
Well, I'm not a guru, but I mean, I think if you listen to a lot of people, I actually listened to John Smoltz yesterday on the way to the game talking to somebody on a podcast, and, everybody's worried about velocity, for one thing. And it's, we get videos sent to us all the time of a kid throwing off a mound into what they call a K-zone. And I don't know how many times out of 10 I'll see that, 7 times out of 10 probably, and I'll think, well, hell, that's not even a strike. What's he sending that for? I mean, it's just that happens a lot, and I fail to understand. If you're 85, you're 85. Throw strikes. If you're 90, you're 90. Throw strikes. Don't try to be something more than you're not. So, that's what everybody's looking for. We need to sign some pitchers for next year. We're looking, calling all across the country, looking for JUCO arms, and we get stats, and coaches will send us videos, and I'll look his stats up. He'll say, man, this guy can really pitch. Well, he's got 40 innings and 32 walks. And I'm like, golly, I mean that's rolling the dice. I mean, so it's you got to think something's going to flip at some point, but I don't know when, because everybody is just bought in on throwing harder.
Yeah, that's a great point, Coach, because that's why I love watching Greg Maddox do interviews, because Greg Maddox never believed in velocity. I mean, he could throw 93, 94 when he wanted to, but he always believed in location and keeping guys off balance. And people don't, they don't look at that enough. And they
I'll tell you what,
go ahead.
Not to cut you off, but I don't know. I mean, I know I'm talking about 2 Hall of Famers. Hell, I don't know if Greg Maddox and Tom Glavine even get drafted now.
I know, that's crazy.
Wow.
They were both first-round picks. That's crazy.
I mean, I just don't know. I mean, maybe they do. I guarantee it's not the top few rounds. I mean, it's just they didn't throw hard enough. I mean, I had a scout tell me in the fall, and a guy I really trust, he just told me, he said, don't ever call us with a pitcher unless he's 94 and up.
So how has this all changed how you go about putting your lineup or putting guys on the mound and coaching-wise? You said you've learned a lot about, different things. How has this kind of changed how you go about coaching?
I mean, it really hadn't. I mean, we just want guys that throw multiple pitches for a strike and stay down in the zone. And I mean, sure, we'd love somebody throwing 95 miles an hour, but I think I've had one in I don't know how many years I've been the head coach now, but it's it's just we want guys that can compete. The best pitchers we've ever had, guys that won. I mean, of course, we had. I don't know if you remember him now. We had Daniel Koger back in 2015.
Yes, yep, that's right.
90, 91, 92, 93 sometimes. Obviously, he was really good, got drafted. But, look, a couple of the best pitchers we ever had were, I think Drew Allen won like 25, 26, 28 games in 4 years. And he was an 80 to 83 left-hander. Luke Mold was an 84, 85 mile-an-hour right-hander. Set the school record in saves. I mean, I can go on and on, but they could hit a gnat in the tail. I mean, they could throw it and put it anywhere they wanted. I mean, there's still something to be said for that.
I agree completely. We're talking to Hunter Roy. He's in his 15th season coaching the UAA's Chargers. As we said, they are 22-22 now, and they are going down the stretch of the Gulf South Conference season, trying to get into that conference tournament. And Coach, I'm assuming it's still going to be at Chocolaca this year. And being played. I know you guys are trying to get all your pieces and get things lined up. As far as health of your ball club, especially on the mound, how healthy is this team right now as you're already 44 games in?
I would say we're as healthy as we've been. I mean, we lost somebody earlier in the year, but we're okay on the mound. I mean, it's just going to be, we got a weekend here, senior weekend. We got a couple guys been around here a long time, and going to hate to see them go. But we need to finish strong, no matter what happens. I talked to them before we went to West Georgia. I said we just need to try to, set a goal and go 8-4 down the stretch, last 12 conference games, and whatever happens after that happens. I just don't. I'll be honest with you. I don't know that I've even looked at the GFC website in a month.
I don't blame you. Yeah, just game to game.
It just doesn't affect us. I mean, we just got to play well. And last weekend went to West Alabama, and I was really proud of them. We lost a heartbreaker in the first game, and came back from a big deficit in game 2, and then really swung it in game 3 and won big. And Union's got a nice team, and we're going to have to play well. And no games have been easy this year. It doesn't matter who we played. I know yesterday was a big score, but nothing's been easy. And, that's when you learn a lot about yourself. So I'm looking forward to this weekend.
Hard to believe, though, that you're already talking about Senior Day.
Oh, gosh. I mean, it's blown by. That's what you try to get them to understand is, I know it seems like a long way away when you're a freshman. You're running at 6 a.m. in the morning or lifting weights at 6 and thinking, God, I've got 4 more years of this. But it flies by extremely quick, and I think any former player would tell you that, and it goes by too quick. And they'll be working. Those guys, some of them already been on jobs interviews. Some of them already got jobs lined up, and I bet you $1 next year about this time they're going to be saying, gosh, I wish I wasn't sitting here typing on a computer or doing whatever I'm doing. I wish I was in that dugout.
And, Coach, I know you mentioned briefly about Union, but what kind of ball club have they got? Are they stronger on the mound? Is it an offensive ball club? How is their pitching kind of lining up for you?
Probably very similar to ours. They got one starter that's been there, it seems like forever, Poindexter, and
right.
He does a good job competing, and they're probably a lot like our team. I don't really think there's a lot of difference. Lee's the best team in the league this year, and I don't think it's really close with anybody else, and that's not taking away anything from anybody. They got about 5 or 6 fifth-year seniors in that lineup.
Yeah.
And they've all played for 5 years. So that makes a big difference. I think once you get past the top, I don't know that there's much difference 3 through 13, to be honest with you, 3 through 12. There's just not. It's really it's really weird. I said the same thing last year. I thought anybody could win the tournament. Whoever gets in, I think anybody's going to have their hands full with leave. But besides that, I mean, all bets are off. The league it's pretty equal.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's talk about this year's squad a little bit more. Obviously, you look at it. I mean, the pitching may not has gone the way you wanted to, but batting wise, hitting wise,
315 team batting average, man.
Yeah.
They swung the bats.
I mean, you got some guys
that
are really out there swinging the bats. I mean, Merritt Carter. I mean, good notice, batting .428 on the season.
Yeah, he's had a great year. I mean, there's no. I bet he's not the top. He's got to be right near it in the league. He's had a great year offensively. I mean, he's shown a little power. I don't know what he's got, maybe 6, 7 home runs, probably 12, 13, 14 doubles, I guess. But he's hit extremely well. Offensively, it hadn't really hadn't been the problem. Now, the last few weeks, we've kind of cooled off. I know that sounds weird talking about our last 2 games, but we hadn't hit great with runners in scoring position. But we've done pretty well all year offensively. I mean, him and Carson Bialto Senior's had a good year. Brock Butler's had a good year. Lindsey, of course, had a good year. So, and Mahan. I mean, I could go on up and down the lineup because most of them are hitting 300 or better.
Yeah.
So it's been a good. We don't have as much power as we've had the last couple of years. But that's kind of like throwing strikes. That doesn't mean everything. I mean, if you can hit some doubles and run a little bit, move some runners, it makes a big difference. But offensively, we've been okay.
Yeah, you have, and I noticed the other day too. They had a signing ceremony over at JP2, and a kid that I've watched play multiple sports, actually 3, basketball, football, baseball. He's going to be a Charger, and then Luke Sanji. I know you're excited about him. He's a competitive, really a big-time competitor. I think he's going to fit in well with the culture you have at UAH, Coach.
Yeah, he is. He's going to be a good one for us. We're really excited to have him. We got some other local kids, that are going to be here, and that's, we want local kids. I mean, we do. If we can get them, we want them. Get them to stay home is a big thing, but I do believe he'll fit in like the other ones we have coming and help us get going where we need to get going. And a lot of those guys got opportunities to play if they come in and work hard. And we're excited. We're excited about the freshmen we have and the freshmen we got coming in. And, Merrick's a sophomore. We got some other guys that are either redshirt freshmen or sophomores that are good players. So we're excited about the future. We just gotta continue to build on the mound and get more depth on the mound because that's where it starts and ends.
Yeah, it really does, and it'll start on Friday, and weather permitting, and then you guys are slated at Charger Park, and then a doubleheader on Saturday. And these seasons, man, I mean, 15 years for you, Coach. You're nearly finishing your 15th season. I'll tell you what, it seems like Scott and I were kind of talking about this the other day because Alabama went on an extended run to get to the Final Four in basketball, and then we start shifting to baseball, and it's 2/3 of the way over.
Yeah, it's all the way there.
I mean, it flies. I mean, once you play that, we opened up in Florida, and
yep, that's right.
You play that first weekend, you're excited, and the next thing you know, you're playing your last weekend.
Oh, yeah. Crazy.
It flies by, but it's a challenge. It's been a challenge, but I'm proud for them for sticking through it and continue to work hard, continue to practice hard, and we'll see where it takes us.
Well, I've had the privilege of doing the softball games from the dugout. I just want to let you know that we have a little game going on which softball player can hit your car with foul balls during the game.
We don't need that. He don't need to be going through what I'm going through.
One of them said something to me the other day walking in the office. She said, "You checked your car?" And I said, "For what?" She said, "It got hit the other day." And I said, "Well, that's typical how things been going a little bit. Surprised the windshield didn't get knocked out." So
Well, I'm gonna tell you what, it takes a good little poke out there
Well,
for the softball to get to the car, but it was a one hopper though off the ground.
If anybody's going to shatter his windshield, I hope it's Grady the Greek.
No, it wasn't. It was a one hopper, so it wasn't a clean hit. But yeah, and everybody in the dugout was like, "Oh, it's Coach Royer's car!" Yeah. So it's the only one we've had all year, though.
Well, I'll be sure to park it somewhere else.
Well, Coach, good luck on this weekend on Friday and Saturday. Get those games in and get cranked up for the conference tournament. But we always appreciate it. Thank you for joining us, man.
Guys, I appreciate you and appreciate everything you do for sports and community. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Coach.
Yep, sir.
Yeah, we were having a little fun with that the other day.
I mean, if Grady did it, that'd be a great story.
But he parks. See, so he just parks it right up and close. I mean, it was a good little hit.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I've done that and had the OSHIT moments because I'm like, because you park, you're like, oh, this is a wide open spot. Well, no, the one the hell wonder it's wide open. Nobody wants to park there because they don't want to get pelted. Jeez, don't want a damn dent in your hood.
Oh, anyway. Hey, we got to get a break in. We got breaking news. College football breaking news. We'll fill you in next.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Since 1986, Full Moon Barbecue has been cooking quality meats low and slow over a hickory wood-fired pit. From ribs and wings, brisket, turkey, catfish, and sausage to the best butts in town. And Full Moon is ready for your next catering or tailgate. Our zone deal this week is $50 worth of Full Moon Barbecue from our Huntsville location for half price, just $25. Log on 977ESPN.com beginning Friday morning to score this incredible deal from Full Moon Barbecue on the Parkway next to Costco, the best little pork house in Alabama. Specializing in simple and affordable rentals, McCurry Van and Car Rental can make sure you have just the right vehicle for your next family vacation, weekend getaway, or if you just need transportation while your vehicle is being repaired. McCurry carries Ford Transit vans and Mercedes Sprinter vans, trucks and work vans, and more. And they offer discounted rental rates for long-term rentals. Now with 4 locations: Athens, Muscle Shoals, Coleman, and Huntsville. Log on McCurryRentals.com to make your reservation now. That's McCurryRentals.com. When you call most roofing companies, all you'll hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming. At Fleming Roofing and Restoration, we're focused on your needs, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement. Folks around here have trusted Fleming since 1965 for all their residential and commercial roofing needs. And as the area's storm damage experts, Fleming knows all the ins and outs of the insurance claims process. Log on FlemingHSV.com to schedule your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
Spring is in the air, making it a great time to make plans to visit the Lodge at Guntersville State Park. The Lodge at Guntersville State Park sits on a cliff overlooking beautiful Guntersville Lake with vistas from the cliffside rooms as well as the Pinecrest Room, the Lodge's premier restaurant. And as the weather warms, enjoy the gorgeous pool that overlooks the lake as well. The park also features cabins, a beach, and a boat launch, so bring your boat to take the fun to the lake. The Lodge at Guntersville State Park. Book your visit today.
The kitchen is the heart of any home. It's where the family gathers. It's where kids discover old recipes and make them their own. Just starting out or just now getting started on the dream kitchen you've always wanted?
I'm Chris Haygood, and from all of us here at Bob Wallace Appliance to the home builders and the homeowners of the Huntsville area, a heartfelt thank you for buying local. We're in Huntsville, Florence, and Coleman, and online at bobwallaceappliance.com.
Atlanta Braves baseball is back, and the battle for a 7th straight division title is officially on.
Stretching the pitch, swung on, lifted to left field. That might get out of here. That's in the bullpen. Home run, Sean Murphy.
Tonight, be here for NL East baseball in Atlanta as Ozzie Albies and the Braves take on Jazz Chisholm and the Miami Marlins at Truist Park. Braves Radio goes on the air at 6:05 Eastern, 5:05 Central on the Atlanta Braves Radio Network.
Got a wreck on University near Research Park. It's a no injury. Eastbound 565 between Greenbrier and County Line. That one's slowing things down a little bit. We had County Line and Madison Boulevard. They've moved it to a parking lot, and they're starting the panoply closures on the streets around Big Spring Park downtown. You may need to alter travel plans there. With more than 30 years experience, D&L Refrigeration can save you money on those heating and air conditioning repairs. 256-652-1207. State license 08091. Captain Nick in the Jordan Lane Popeyes Skywatch Traffic Center.
Each week, check out our latest zone deal online at 977ESPN.com.
I'm eating good food.
We are 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
All right, welcome back, Talking Ball.
As the world turns, Scott's tuning in.
I was listening to the Pell City.
Fire and brimstone stuff going on.
Wow. I mean, it's getting passionate and heated down there.
Getting heated.
Fill you in a little bit on that. But the other news is that, hey, guess what?
What?
Johnny Manziel can go to the Heisman Trophy ceremony now.
I know. It was breaking news as we were going to break.
Johnny
That didn't sound
Manziel,
good.
here's the whole thing. Johnny Manziel put his foot down. He drew a line in the sand and said, I will not go to the Heisman Trophy ceremonies anymore until Reggie Bush gets his Heisman trophies back.
Yeah.
Well, Reggie Bush is getting his 2005 Heisman Trophy back. ESPN has learned in what the Heisman Trophy people or the Heisman Trophy Trust calls an enormous changes in the college football landscape.
And what they're saying is basically what Reg did years ago is all legal now. When they took a house, a car, and whatever the hell else they took from agents, it's all legal. So now they're giving Reg his Heisman back. Probably should have never taken it anyways.
It's
because,
been 14 years.
Come on.
He's had to forfeit. He forfeited that trophy back in 2010.
That's just so dumb because they never made Cam Newton forfeit it, and everybody knows he took $180,000. I think Cam was saying the other day he was doing the same thing, saying he wasn't going to go back to a Heisman ceremony. I mean, everybody knows this stuff's been going on for years. Just look, man. And the thing is, USC got sloppy and the family got sloppy, and that's why everybody found out what was going on. But this stuff's been, like Van Pettaway told you, man. Kentucky been doing NIL way before NIL.
Yeah. Coach is like, hey, look, man. They've been doing NIL long before they've been doing NIL. Man, what you talking about? They've been doing NIL.
Of course they have.
He told it. They've been doing NIL.
He's telling the truth.
Oh, he is.
Just give him his trophy back, man. He won it on the field. That's like all that stupid stuff where they make you vacate wins and everything. How stupid. Everybody knows who won the game. That's just dumb. That's why the NCAA, I've never liked the NCAA.
It's kind of like John Calipari, though, having to take the Memphis stuff down, the Memphis wins, the Memphis banners and everything. UMass banners down.
Come on, man. Let's go. I think, it's a wise move. Just reinstate Reggie Bush. Let him, come back to these ceremonies. Don't act like he's ostracized. Good Lord. I know Eric Dickerson never won the Heisman. Man, he got a gold Trans Am from Texas A&M. Come on, man. And admits it. He took the took the Trans Am, and then he didn't even go there.
The Heisman Trust says, guess what?
Oh.
The ever-so-changing landscape of college. I'm just throwing this out there. This is just a complete hypothetical question. Should they give SMU all their wins back? Should they give them everything for what they did for the Pony Express? Should they give them everything back?
You can reinstate it, but you already gave them the death penalty, which their program's never been the same. But, Go ahead. Give them their wins back. Give Alabama their wins back for crying out loud.
Textbooks?
Heck yeah, that was stupid. They took all these wins away from the next time. Give them back for giving back Reggie Bush's stuff. You might as well. Kids just trying to make a buck. Shut up. Just like I've talked about the T-Town menswear stuff. Everybody, everybody just leaving the room. Everybody's cool, man. Making millions for the school. Who cares? It's a few autographs, man. Shut up. Clowns.
All right. You know who's not a clown?
Mike
Detillier is not a clown.
Certainly not a clown.
We've got the NFL draft coming up.
He's an expert.
He is.
Yeah.
He is. And what will he tell us? Don't believe anything the agents are telling you right now. Don't believe anything.
We've already got another question that's non-football to ask him. Brandon wants to know what the best fried chicken is in northern Louisiana.
We are not
you know he'll
asking
know
him about the fried chicken.
Oh, well, why not? He'll know. He loves food. I mean, I did an interview with him one time on his show, and he was at a grocery store. He and Bobby Hebert, man. They were eating good food. Yeah, man, you know they got great food, man.
We can't ask. We've got like 12 minutes, 15
I
minutes
know. We need to go to break so we can get
let's
him
go to
on.
break. Mike Detillier.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
By now, you know about Eagle Masonry and Insulation, and maybe you know that Eagle also does landscaping and dirt work. But how about after paint work? Shower doors, shelving, and mirrors, all taken care of by Eagle, the same Eagle that takes care of all your masonry, insulation, and landscaping needs. Eagle brings the same level of expertise to all these disciplines, and they're ready to provide you with a free quote. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
When I chose a garage door company, I did my homework. I needed Precision Overhead Garage Door Service. They have a 5-star Google rating. I checked their reviews and liked what their customers had to say. Precision Overhead Garage Door has lifetime warranty packages. Same-day service if I call before 2 p.m. If they can't make it the same day, my service call fee the next day is waived. They did a 25-point safety inspection on the door and operator. Now that's peace of mind. Residential, commercial, and gate services. Precision Overhead Garage Door Service. Call 256-400-4500.
I'm attorney Gary Lackey. If you've been injured and need a lawyer right now, and pick up the phone to call, you know, one you've seen on a billboard or on TV begging for your business, do you know who you really get?
I'm attorney Jennifer Lackey. You want to talk to your lawyer. You don't want to reach a call center, not in some office 100 miles away. With the Lackey Law Firm, that never happens. My clients talk to me.
And me. I'm attorney Justin Lackey. We're the ones that you talk to. We're the ones that you meet with.
And we're the ones who handle your personal injury case. You want to talk to me? You just call me.
And we'll take care of it. You worry about getting well. We'll take care of the rest.
The Lackey Law Firm.
And I'll go you one better. If you can't come to us, we'll come to you.
The Lackey Law Firm. The Lackey Law Family. 1-800-4-RIGHTS.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
Got a structure fire working on Nick Fitchard near Dan Tibbs. County Fire has requested Huntsville Fire and Rescue for assistance there. Got a wreck on University near Research Park and had one eastbound on 565 east of mile marker 3. That one should be clearing. Panoply closures downtown. You may need to alter travel plans. That'll be in place through the weekend. Snelling can help with admin, accounting, or business support personnel. Snelling, how the area's best companies hire talent. Huntsville.snelling.com. Captain Nick in the South Parkway Popeyes Skywatch Traffic Center.
We cover all the SEC schools, including Western Union and Venmo.
I want that money!
You know, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
All right, coming up in 34 hours. 27 minutes and 53 seconds. We get the 2024 NFL Draft coming your way from Detroit, Michigan, and the Chicago Bears are on the clock.
They are, and who better than to discuss this? One of the best football minds we speak with. He does the M&D Draft Report. Of course, he's very close to the Saints, saintsreport.com. WWL's own Mike Detillier, busy. I know this week is off the wall for him. He's always busy through football season. We always love catching up, and he's carved out some time for us this morning. Mike, good morning.
Good morning, guys.
Hey, we've been kind of you always tell us this. It's been a joke all week about how many lies have been told in the last 2 to 3 weeks by agents leaking out all this info about guys in the draft. How many lies we've heard, Mike?
Basically all of them. Listen, they put it that, it's sort of like National Enquirer-like. Part of the story is true, but most of the story is not. Okay, so, man, listen, I've been doing this. This is 40 years for me.
Wow.
So I've been through all this gambit. And I hear from every sports agent that's possible to try to feed me information. And I would say it being correct, it's in the single digits. I mean, again, there's a bit and a part of every story that has some truth to it. But, 95% of what they tell you is not correct. I had one sports agent tell me yesterday he has a client who I think will go late in the second or early in the third, that he's getting teams tell him he's going to be a first-round pick. And he's telling this to the player.
Oh, Lord.
I mean, okay, here was the best part. Over the weekend, he told me, Mike, man, I just hope we go in the top 75 picks. I hope we go in round 3. Now, within 72 hours, that is swung from going in the third round to the first round. I mean,
wow.
So, man, again, I'm used to it. I hear it. I get it. I'm not one to put all this garbage out there. And listen, that sometimes it's your job. You got to find a story and you put it out on Twitter for clicks and everything else. That's all great and fine. I got no quarrel with that. If that's what you want to do, it's not what I do. But I'm not putting that out there. I know, so much of it is not correct. It's just not. But, for a lot of people, they find it interesting. And so, they shove it out there. You know who the top players are. I'll tell you guys a quick story.
Yeah.
Jim Finks, when I first started doing this, Jim, I think this is 1987, so it wasn't yesterday, so to speak. Jim had built the Vikings of the 60s and 70s. He built the Bears teams of the 80s. He wasn't crazy about Ditka, and that's why he left, because Papa Bear hired Mike Ditka, and he forgot to tell one guy about it, and that was Jim. So then he comes over to the Saints, and, he really kind of puts them back on the football map. Gives them some structure, and they have winning seasons for the first time, getting to the playoffs. And so right before a press conference that they do before the draft, he tells me, I hate doing this. I hate doing it. Wow. I'm like, okay, why are you doing it, Jim? And Jim, man, he always had a cigarette in his mouth. And he was like, man, he said, I just hate doing this. He said, because, if I'm picking 20th and I knew who the 19 players were ahead of me, I could actually tell you something. And I wouldn't, but I could actually tell you something. Why general managers don't talk and they double talk during all this, they don't know. Now, he said they got fans, and he said, I hate to say it, but he said, you know better, but they got some media that really believe that we all looking at the same board. I can tell you who my top 20 is.
Yeah.
But my top 20 isn't the same as the Packers or the 49ers or the Bengals or the Raiders. And I'm guessing what they might do. I know some of the players that'll go, but I'm not sure where they go. And so, man, I got to clean up. He said, I just hate doing this because it's nothing but a bunch of BS. And he said, but they got people that swallow that. It's just like And he gave me the line. It's just like next man up. He said, that is the most ridiculous, stupid comment I hear from coaches, media, and fans that I've ever heard in my life. If the next man up was any better than the starter, he'd be starting. And so, I'm laughing at this stage because now I got, a guy who's in Pro Football's Hall of Fame. He's just going off on everything. And he was like, listen, you got some talent to do this. You really do. But he said, I'll give you one good piece of advice. Fall in love with the football player and not the athlete.
Well,
because he said, you're going to get burned on that athlete 9 out of 10 times.
Yeah.
He said, you might get burned on the football player, but it'll be 1 out of 10.
Well,
are
the Bears falling in love? Are the Bears falling in love with Caleb Williams, the player, or
is that who you would draft,
yeah.
Mike? Who do you have?
Yeah, he's my number one player. Here's my thing with Caleb, and I've watched him from his high school days on. He was at Oklahoma USC. The one thing he's going to have to learn is how to shoot the 10-foot jump shot and hit the layup as a quarterback. The short game, every throw, he wants to make it a big play. And you got to calm your nerves there. It's not always going to be that way. You have to be able to sometimes take the shorter part of the game. Caleb is always looking for the big play. So that becomes a habit. It was the crazy part. Jaden Daniels is the complete opposite. And so my thing with Caleb is he likes the deeper pass, and sometimes he thinks he can put a football anywhere instead of taking that short underneath throw or that short pass, and now it's 2nd and 3 or 2nd and 2. That's what I think Mahomes does great. For all the stuff with his Maravich-like throws on a football field, what he does better than anybody else, he can hit that 10-foot jump shot, and he'll take the layup. Because he knows he's going to get another shot at it. And if he throws it downfield, it'll be an incomplete or possibly an interception. So that's the one thing with Caleb that is a hard habit to break, but I think that's the negative with him.
And I love Jaden Daniels. Of course, I'm biased. I saw him up close. I thought he was the best player in the country last year. Do you have him slotted to go to the Commanders, Mike?
Yeah, God bless him. Go to Washington. But, I do have him going to Washington. And, I've gotten to know him throughout the years that he's here at LSU. And you talk about he is the most humble star player I've ever been around in my life. The most humble guy. You would not know that, he's a Heisman Trophy winner and a star college player by the way he acts. He's a very humble, very kind of shy type of guy. He gets on the field, he's like Clark Kent. He's gotten into the telephone booth and he turns into Superman. He is immensely gifted athletically. He can make plays with his feet. And he can run. He's like a track sprinter. You think you got an angle, and he outruns the angle. Now, you better learn how to slide, because I've told him this, and they're going to take your head off in the NFL. They're not going to protect you once you break that pocket. So you better learn how to slide or get out of bounds. But his issues early on at LSU was that he could throw the short stuff, short intermediate. But he wouldn't throw the deep ball unless the guy was open. And he really worked at this in the offseason last summer to work with Brian and Malik and Chris Hilton and those guys, Tyron Lacey, to work on the deeper ball. And it's something, I work with Bobby Hebert, and Bobby always says, just put it out there and let him run under it. And he told me that's exactly what I did. He said, I learned how to throw the deeper pass, and he was really good at it last year. Really, really was. And I think it's his secondary reads that have gotten so much better, and he doesn't take unnecessary sacks. Sometimes, I mean, there's nothing you can do about it. You're going to get sacked with pressure. But he doesn't take a lot of unnecessary ones. And nothing drives a coach. I know with Sean Payton, that drove him nuts here once Drew Brees left, that quarterbacks would take unnecessary sacks. And I think it drove him up the wall in Denver with Russell Wilson, who did the exact same thing. He took unnecessary sacks. Just throw the ball away and live to play another down. Jaden is very good about avoiding that. And God's gave him some athletic skills that are really good. And that's the big negative with Drake May for me. Yes. He is a bit streaky as a passer. He gets in a groove, and he is streaky. But, man, he'll hold the football forever. And my thing is, throw it. Get away. Throw it. and he'll take the sack. So now, instead of 2nd and 4, use 2nd and 16, 3rd and 16. Nothing drives a coach crazier than that. That's the negative with Drake. He sort of looks a lot like Justin Herbert. Physically, he does look a lot like him. And he's got some good movement skills, and, man, he got a rifle. He is erratic with his throws, and I can't get it. I'm not going to be able to change that. He's always going to have that part of his game. But for him to hold the football as long as he does sometimes drives you up the wall. And that would drive me crazy with him because you got to get rid of it.
Would you rather have a Drake May or a J.J. McCarthy if you were picking?
I would pick Drake May. How you can evaluate – J.J. is a tough evaluation. And really it is because of this. He's been a winner wherever he's been. And he's done exactly what the coach tells him to do, which is great. And they have won. But has he been put in a spot more than a couple times where he's got to win a game on his own, so to speak? That he's got to carry it. I understand what Jim did at Michigan. He built this team around a running game and a real short intermediate throw type offense. And it worked to perfection last year. But I think there are going to be some moments that he's going to have to make the big play. No one can tell you if JJ can make that play. No one. Because he's never really been put in that spot where he becomes the guy to carry you for more than, say, a game or so. And in the NFL, it's an old Hank Stram line, but it is true. Either you got one or you're looking for one at quarterback, a guy that can carry you. You can say, well, it's a team sport. Okay, tell me how many teams have a Patrick Mahomes?
Not many.
Isn't he the reason that they're winning? You look at Buffalo. Take Josh Allen off that team. Take Joe Burrow off the Bengals. Okay? They're a totally different football team. All of them are totally different without those guys on there. So it situates what Jim Fink says about next man up, which is a bunch of crap. And it also puts into place what that guy has to do at certain moments in a season to carry your football team.
Mm-hmm. Well, Mike, in your mind, especially with round one, but the draft as a whole, as you've done your M&D draft reports, you've been doing this 40 years. What is the biggest storylines in this draft? What is the strength of it?
Oh, the strength of it is real simple. 7-on-7's changed the way the world is, and 14 of my top 60 are wide receivers in this draft class.
Wow.
14 of the 60 wide receivers. And it's really strong, too, at offensive tackles. I don't know how people consider Graham Barton. I think he'll play inside in the NFL, but I have 8 offensive tackles going in round one. I mean, the big news will be I think there'll be 6 quarterbacks picked in round one, but I think the strength of this draft is certainly at wide receiver and also, too, along the offensive line. Mm-hmm. They don't have enough edge guys don't have enough interior defensive tackles. That's not a real strength of this draft, and it's getting harder and harder to find those guys. Really, really hard. Cornerback is a sneaky 3 position from a talent and depth standpoint in this draft class. I think you'll see a lot of corners, safeties in the 2nd and 3rd round get selected. But, man, tackles, if you're looking for one, you got them in this draft, and wide receivers the exact same way. And they all sort of built a little differently. Every one of them are a little different in kind of what they can bring strength-wise to the table. And, man, I know I'm getting old. I got this sent to me Monday. My first year I ever put out a draft book, 1984.
Wow.
I got my evaluation of John Alt, out of Iowa.
Yeah.
And he was a first-round pick of the Kansas City Chiefs, and now his son is going to be the first offensive lineman taken off the board. So Archie Manning tells me, he says, Mike, when they start sending you stuff about the grandsons, then you're in trouble.
So you must think Bo Nix is going first round too.
Yeah, I think what will happen is I think some team will try to trade back into round 1 to get Bo later in round 1. I really think that's a scenario there. Now, I might be surprised, and I was last year with Will Levis. You know, we talked about this.
Yeah.
I didn't think he'd be a top 10 pick, but I thought he'd go in round 1.
Yeah.
And of everything that happened last year in round 1, that was the surprise. But so many teams that were looking for the quarterback, and he fell out of that. Now, there were 4 or 5 teams that were trying to get up into late in the round 1 to try to double dip and get him. They weren't able to do it. But that really surprised me in a quarterback-starved NFL that he fell out of that just completely.
And Mike, my final question, I know you got offensive tackle as a strength. Tyron Smith, long time with the Cowboys, Hall of Fame player. He's going to the Jets. Are the Cowboys in line to draft that offensive tackle in round 1?
Yeah, I would think so. The guys to watch there would be Tyler Guyton from Oklahoma, who's played a little left tackle, but really he's been a right side guy for them. And he's only started 14 games in college football, but last year he really impressed me as a pass blocker. He only gave up 1 sack. He's a huge man. Really was impressive at the Senior Bowl also with his techniques and athletic skills. And then I think the all-potential guy of round 1, Amarius Mims.
From Georgia.
All of 8 games started at Georgia when it was obvious he may have been the most physically gifted offensive lineman that the Bulldogs have had the last 3 years. But he couldn't stay healthy.
Right.
He had an ankle injury, a hamstring injury. Then when he goes to the combine and the first time he runs the 40-yard dash and, he pulls up. So, you're so concerned about a guy who hasn't played a lot of football, and he's had this deal of being injury prone. And, I've told you guys this before. That sort of sticks with you. When you have those type injuries, it sort of sticks with you throughout your career. But you take a look at him in the 8 games he started, he wasn't good. He was dominant.
Yeah.
But 8 games in 3 years. That's not – put it to you this way. If you're watching tape, that wouldn't take you more than a day.
You're right. No doubt about that. Man, we could talk for another hour, but great stuff from Mike Detillier. We'd love to catch up with you next week and get your thoughts on the draft after it unfolds. But let everybody know how to follow your coverage, man. Always enjoy the time.
Thanks so much. On daily on WWL Radio 4 to 6, and then we got coverage round the clock of Thursday, Friday, Saturday on every pick that gets selected. Me and Deuce, first time since 2004. I'm not doing a draft show without Bobby Hebert.
Oh wow!
He's got something important to do this weekend. His younger son, Bo, is getting married.
There you go.
Oh,
Good
okay.
stuff. We congrats to Bobby and his son.
So it's being Deuce. So I get a few more moments to talk.
There you go.
There you go. Thanks, Mike.
All right, thanks, Mike.
Appreciate it.
All right, guys. Y'all take care.
Let's get our final break in.
Listen to Talkin' Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond.
Y'all the best, man. Hey, just don't make sure I don't get that Moron plaque.
No, sir. Not at all.
Thanks, Coach. Oh, Ronnie Stapler joining us. No, Coach, you are not going to get the Moron of the Year plaque.
Every weekday morning, wake up with Scott and Drew. It's Talkin' Ball on 97.7 The Zone.
By texting 64,000, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from Babbel. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at babbel.com/TNC.
I want to learn how to cook, but I keep ordering takeout.
Accomplishing goals is hard, but when your goal is to learn a new language, Babbel makes it easy. In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel will help you start having conversations in as little as 3 weeks. So when someone asks, "How's your French going?" you can say,
Babbel facilite grandement l'apprentissage d'une nouvelle langue.
Now try Babbel free. Just text radio to 64,000. Text radio to 64,000.
AL cert number 21014.
Are those high utility bills driving you crazy this time of year? If they are, Talent Heating and Air has the special for you.
That's right. We're going to run a $49 spring checkup on your system. We're going to come out, we're going to check those heat kits, make sure that everything was working through the winter right, and then we're going to also make sure your Freon's good, make sure that you're ready for the summertime.
How important is that to be done this time of year?
It's really the most important time of the year. We can avoid safety concerns caused by wintertime use, and then we can also make sure that you're ready for the summertime.
And to get ready for the summertime, you just got to call
256-503-4490.
Or you can find them online at
talenthvac.com.
That's Talent Heating and Air. One more time.
256-503-4490.
Talent Heating and Air. Let them save you money.
T-minus 3, 2, 1.
Trash Panda Nation, ignite the fun. Let's rock it.
Come see your Rocket City Trash Pandas take on the Tennessee Smokies Thursday night for an extended happy hour at Toyota Field. Enjoy $3 domestics at the Inline Electric Rock Porch, plus the first 1,500 fans will receive a Trash Pandas t-shirt. Get your tickets now while you still can at tptix.com. That's tptix.com.
Let's rock it.
Tom Luganbill here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
This segment of Talkin' Ball is brought to you by University Kia, the #1 volume Kia dealer in the state of Alabama. Located online at universitykia.com. It's time for tomorrow's headlines today with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Imagine getting fired and then getting hired in a span of 20 seconds.
That's basically what happened, Scott.
That's what happened to Rush Probst.
Yeah, we have breaking news again.
Yeah, by a vote of 3-2, he gets fired.
Yeah.
And then a moment later, they do a second motion there in the Pell City Board of Education. And much to the delight of the whole packed house.
Yeah, and the chagrin of the board.
Yeah, he gets hired again.
Yeah, there you go.
So Rush Probst,
another bizarre chapter,
is still the head coach at Pell City.
Yeah, he is. He really is.
So
what a crazy. It's about as crazy as Jim Finks in that story. What a classic one from Mike Detillier.
Mike Detillier is good.
Next man up, next coach up, and it's the same one.
It is good. I mean, he is good. And we didn't even get into – we could have did like 3 or 4 segments with him and still not even touched on everything on the draft.
Yeah, we didn't even get to ask him about fried chicken because we just really didn't have time. No.
He's so good.
Just tweet at him. He'll answer your question,
Yeah,
Brandon,
it's been a heck of a 2 hours. Entertaining 2 hours.
It really has. No doubt about it.
So, yeah. Chad, don't make any plans for this rest maybe next week because we got to come in, you and I, Talent Heating and Air. We got to do some
May the 4th be with you.
Yeah, we got to do some Star Wars commercials.
I'm down for it. Revenge of the 5th, May the 4th.
Revenge of the 5th. Hey, there you go.